My guest today is Maria Toorpakai from Pakistan. Maria, you were born in Bannu, Pakistan. You moved to Toronto to be coached under Jonathan Power. Your highest world ranking is number 41. You are Pakistan's greatest female squash player. So thanks for joining me here today at Squash Alchemy.
Thank you for having me. And just a small correction, I was born in South Waziristan.
So I guess we can start with when did you fall in love with the game squash, and when did you start taking it seriously at a competitive level?
I started playing squash. I was almost 13 because that was the first tournament I played under 13, and after that I was overage for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I played squash like for 2 months almost then.
Wow.
So, but all I knew how to serve hard because I came from weightlifting right into squash. So my serve was really hard, and I was able to pull through my matches, my tournament.
Right.
So that was a good win and a good boost in my confidence, and I felt like I can do it. And but anyways, I was always like, I knew that something I want to do. I will put all my effort into it. So I saw a lot of kids playing squash, a lot of boys. There were no girls. So, but I grew up like boys, so I really didn't see the difference between me or them, because for me, it was more like I was raised as human rather than a girl or boy.
Right.
So for me, it's like boy or girl, it's all humans. It's all, there's no difference. So I started playing squash very happily and training hard. It was fascinating sport. You jump, dive, get to the ball. You have beautiful rackets. You have great outfits, shorts you wear, and people outside watching you, glass courts. It was amazing environment for me. And at that time, I even didn't know anything about the legends, that you hear about, like from Pakistan, Jan Sher Khan or Jahangir Khan or Kamar Zaman, all those. I never heard of them. All I could see young kids playing in those outfits and that kind of environment. That was that caught my attention. So I wanted to play squash.
Uh-huh. Yeah, wow. So, I mean, going from, you said weightlifting into squash and then only playing for 2 months before you played your first tournament, that's pretty amazing, yeah?
Yeah, well, again, squash is it's a very tough sport. You need a lot of fitness, right? And at the same time, at that age when I was, all the girls were beginners, and the girls were mostly from Karachi, from Lahore, those cities. So they were young girls, and I had a really strong serve, so it helped me a lot. With the weightlifting, in weightlifting, I was able to lift like 75 kgs at that age. Snatch was 45 kgs, so it was pretty good.
Wow.
Strong.
Very strong. Yeah. So you then obviously moved to Toronto was that before you decided to go pro, or was that your progression into going pro?
Well, Canada happened later in my life. When I started in, by almost at age 13, and then at age 20, I moved to Canada.
Right.
Not moved to Canada, but I would say ended up in Canada. Because I needed a safe place to train and play, and I was desperate about it for it, and there were times that it was difficult to continue playing. I I came across different people from different cultures, because when I was 14, I went to Malaysia for Asian Championship, and then British Junior I played many times, played Asian Junior. So all those tournaments I played. At that time, I started in the lucky time because at that time the air marshal who actually who died in an air crash, but he was unbelievable man, and he started women's squash, promoting women's squash a lot. So I was lucky that I started at that time. Though from my region and that whole province there were no girls, but it was good that we found that kind of support so we can encourage many other girls, right? But Canada, ended up in Canada, it was a little bit. Um, I kind of was nervous about it because I'm leaving the family and I don't know if I'm gonna see them back, meet or see them again, and I had no money. I had one-way ticket, and coming from Waziristan, which is a hub to Taliban, and a lot of Taliban from my own tribe. So, and I was on the target list for that because of from the same region, I'm from the same tribe I come as Taliban, and they're telling everybody else to follow their rules, and their own goal is not following the rules. So that made it very difficult. But moving to the West, I was also aware that I was nervous. I was thinking, what are they going to think of me, and what are they going to ask from me? Saying you come from Waziristan, because Waziristan is only known for terrorism. How come an athlete is coming out of that? My dad also said that it's going to be way better than you think. It's going to be fine. And I had my passport in my hand, and I left, and that was a bridge of fear, I would say. I had to cross that. Yeah. And when I came to the US and then Canada, it was incredible feeling how supportive the people were, and they were not they were, nobody was like strange to me. It was just like right away they were so nice and kind, and straight from airport I came to the squash court, and there were 3 girls. There were 2 other girls. I was the third one. We started playing some straight drives on the backhand side of the court. And I was a bit heavy because I was training in my room. I was a lot injured, a lot in pain too. So I started hitting, and everybody thought that I have really good hands. So and I, some coaches started helping me with the pain. They realized that I'm a lot in pain with my legs and with my arm, because I never been to doctor before Canada. No treatment, never. So, and all I did training hard and no idea about nutrition or anything. So when I came to Canada, I learned about all those things, became pain-free, and now I can help myself and maybe help any other people.
Wow, such a life-changing experience.
Yeah,
and like you said, you had so much fear, but then when you actually got there, people were friendly, and the feeling as well of getting to the squash club and seeing other girls playing must have been just pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, coming back to like seeing my life turning back to normal, and realizing that I'm here now. I can play now. I'm on court. So I started playing really hard, and started feeling better physically too. And a lot of pains are mentally too when you're mentally stressed, and you have all those depression, I would say. It can cause many pains in your body too. So I started healing spiritually and physically both, and also learned a lot about myself, about my body, about my nutrition, about my sport, and also culture is not never been a problem for me, because some people ask me this question, like living in a different country, different culture, was it difficult for you? But for me, I'm very easygoing. So for me, I think that world is beautiful wherever you go. Every place has its own specialty, uniqueness, which is beautiful. And people, yes, there are different cultures which adds colors to the world, and people are just the only project should be you rather than thinking of anybody else, and learn the good things, and anything that doesn't work for you but it's going to work for somebody else. So everybody should do their own thing. That's the freedom here. It is, I see.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So was Jonathan your first real coach, and how was it training under him?
It was a good training. We had three coaches, but we had three coaches. We had Jonathan, we had Jamie, we had Gary Waite, and they would run these sessions with all those national athletes, Canadian top players, and I was with them. So it was really good sessions, morning and afternoon, and we had fitness sessions. So it was a good setup for us, and that's exactly what you need to become a pro, right? You need to be mentally free. You just have to show up, and you have to have all those things available. And at that time, we were very lucky to have that. But sadly, that club got closed, and everything. That's the thing that it's important when athletes have sponsors and they have proper system. It's so important for professional. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. You can't do everything. You can't play, train, organize everything on your own.
Yeah, sure. Talk to us a little bit about the greatest match that you ever played and location that you played in.
Well, I played like a lot of like really fun matches. In Malaysia was a good weather for me. It was a little bit hot, so my body was responding better than like in hot places it responds better. So I was able to play long matches. Like there were times I had the longest match in men and women both in both tournaments.
Wow.
Both events, and 85 minutes, something like that, with Malaysian girls, the top girls, Delia, and all those. And then I had with the Indian girls, I had really tough, even though it was cold or hot, because of India and Pakistan, you have to try hard. so you have to push yourself no matter what, if you're in pain or whatever. So I had really tough matches, 3-2, 3-2 every time with them. The best time, I would say, another good tournament was for me World Juniors. It was because I was at home, I was training in my bedroom, and then all of a sudden I realized that the World Junior is coming, and this is my last chance. Otherwise, I would never ever be able to participate. I was I was turning 19 then. So I said, whatever it is, like I don't care, I have to go. Like I had threats at that time, and I was training in my room, but I said, I don't care, I don't want to miss this chance, I want to go. So I went to World Juniors, and I was only there to participate because I knew my training was only in room, no squash court, no matches, nothing. And I was a lot in pain because I was jumping and skipping and all those exercises on a concrete floor. So I won my first match, I won my second match, and I won my third match. It was like that. And I played against Egyptian girl Kenzie, and before Kenzie beat all those other girls, like Sobi and Laura Gammo, and then she ended up there, and I was sitting there without warm up because I was hurting. So I was like, okay, I have to get up. So I got on the court, and I started playing a lot of length and all those basic game a lot, and it was in India, so it was hot weather, so it just worked out for me. And the match went so long, and she was jumping and diving. Kenzie, she was like that. So it was crazy, and I was shaking my head, just stop. It was like that. And the last game, I was just like, last point, I was just like hit into the neck, and she dived, and I was like almost falling back.
Yeah.
And luckily she did not get that ball. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I won that match. It came out. So some guy showed up, and he said, you have to go for dope test. I'm like, why? And he said, well, because you are the semifinalist, so you have to go for that. I'm like, I'm in semifinal? I had no idea.
Wow, well done for that. That's such an amazing achievement.
Yeah, and I went on the court next day, with what's her name, the Sharbini.
Mm-hmm.
I went with her on court, and she was super good. Like she was taking everything early, and I was super slow. By tomorrow, I was dead already physically. So I'm like, whatever, I am here. That's it. I tried my best, but she's super good with placing the ball and everything. So it was really
Yeah.
cool to
Yeah.
play. Yeah, these are great experiences. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very amazing stories. So what are you doing now? Are you still on the PSA tour?
Um, it became a little bit difficult. I There are a lot of things happen back home with my family, which um, it was really hard for 2 years to just go on court and think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I kind of started hating squash really badly because of I played for Pakistan. I played, all my life for them and for the people, and just after all that, I was politically targeted. Federation, Pakistan Squash Federation, they removed me from everything because they have because the government has a problem with my sister because she's in politics,
Right.
and they created a lot of propaganda against my family. People were protesting against my family. They attacked our home, the hospital I built, and the, they were running social media campaigns to throw acid on my sister and kill her, and all kind of uh, everybody was like, the way it was created, this propaganda, because the people in the government were coming from very, like, they had a lot of money, so they can create all those things. They bought the media, they had the social media teams who were started running those campaigns. So they were really good in brainwashing people against my family and me. And they were like, look at your sister, she plays sports, she plays in skirt, like, what kind of family are you guys, those kind of things. So it just was unbearable for me. I'm like, I'm not playing for this country. I'm not playing for this Pakistan people, right? And I loved sport, but I just can't deal with it. I'm playing for this
Mm-hmm.
country. So I just would go on court and lose 11-0, 11-0, 11-0, and break my racket in pieces, not understanding what's happening. And then I kind of had a lot of pain started triggering a lot in my leg. Like, I don't know where it's coming from. I know that it doesn't that much happen in my training,
Mm-hmm.
but in a match, it's just unbearable. And I had no idea. Could be mentally, could be physically. I have no idea.
Mm.
And other than that, the National Squash Academy got closed. Everybody started doing their own thing. No proper, uh, nothing proper available to train either, and no coaches. Everybody started doing their own thing,
Right.
and I was just left out.
Uh-huh.
So it became very difficult. So yeah, now I'm just I gained weight a lot too,
Mm-hmm.
because of all that, and now I coach a little bit. I have a foundation. I work with that. Uh, yes, I don't. I'm not a person who's gonna give up on those things. Life. These things gonna come no matter what, and people are gonna talk. Yes, it was hard time, but I understand that I I was emotional, a lot emotional. So
Right.
now I'm good. I'm not paying attention to those things. People can comment, people can do whatever they want, and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mm. Yeah. From all of that, from everything that you've experienced through the sport, what advice would you give to a junior that wants to pursue squash? I mean, if they love the game and they want to take it on board, what advice would you give them?
If you're a kid who loves squash, it's a great sport, it's a great skill, and it's a great community, I would say. Squash community is uh, um, lovely, I would say. Wherever you go, people would love you that you're a squash player. People are also um, PSA, the system that they have in place for athletes. It's called billeting. The way they support equal prize money now. And when you go on court, you know, the male athletes, female athletes, they don't care. They would hit, male athletes would hit with female athletes. They, you know, they don't see a difference. So I see a lot of equality in this sport, and it's such a great environment. So I think it gives a lot of opportunities to those young kids who are playing. So they should keep playing. And again, sports should be taken as a self-development. As for self-development, and also for fun. So, and work as a team, as a squash community, because no matter, some kids who are coming from other countries, whichever countries, sports should be free from politics or anything, or any hate that you hear. You're an athlete, you're a global ambassador, and just come and play and learn and be friends with everybody, and you are going to have the best time then.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Some great stories of your career and your time at, you know, going from Pakistan to Canada, and some great advice, you know, just really enjoying the game and believing in yourself and discovering what you want and really going for that, and not really focusing on what's happening around you. So thank you so much for all that knowledge. And yeah, it's very, yeah, so